Experts say Carzite 9500 is a solvent 4 times more toxic than oil, 4 times more toxic. The ancient scientists believe has a 2.61 ppm toxicity level, and when mixed with the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, its molecules will be able to phase transition. This transition involves the change of the liquid into a gaseous state, which can be absorbed by clouds. The gas will then be released as toxic rain, leading to unimaginable environmental catastrophe, destroying all life forms from the bottom of the evolutionary chain to the top. Well, what are we going to see? If they don't contain this thing, and this is a big if, I hope tomorrow morning that BP will be able to cap this whole thing. That is my wish. I'm begging. I'm pleading. I'm asking, please do it. If they don't, with the toxic gases that are coming out of this well with the oil, hydrogen sulfide, benzene, methylene chloride, and our stupid congressmen up there, they haven't got the backbone of a jellyfish. They don't have an ounce of care for human beings, or they'd be telling them what the Environmental Protection Agency has found that is blowing over the land. Now, I was a pilot for 30 years. I know that prevailing winds are from the northwest to the southeast, and these gases are blowing over the Delta, over Florida, and if they do not cap this well, you are going to see people sick. You might even see an evacuation of certain parts of the Gulf and Florida. It is going to affect the finances, economy of this country in a way that you can't even imagine.
Well, I certainly hope that's not the case, but we're going to have to watch and see how that unfolds with Lindsey Williams. Lindsey, I want to take 5 calls or 6 calls right now in quick succession and then let you go, and we'll get updates from you as this unfolds. But before we go to these calls, give folks the website and the phone number again, because you called me about this in the last 4 or 5 days. You've been working on a DVD that was just completed or shot yesterday, where you break all this down into video format, and tell folks how they can get your breakdown of this information.
I did a CD on yesterday. We had to do it quickly.
Oh, so it's audio.
To be able to get this information out. All of what I've said today is on there, plus I have pages of information that's not there. I beg of you, you know my DVDs and CDs are not copywritten. You must get this out to millions of Americans. Alex Jones Show, you've got to get everybody to go on the web and look at it. Please call and get my 8 DVD set and the one that we produced on yesterday, which will tell you everything that's going on in the Gulf. The toll-free number is 888-799-6111. Now, some people don't like to talk to an operator. Please go on the web to prophecyclub.com. You can get it there if you wish. That's prophecyclub.com, or our toll-free number, 888-799-6111. The operator standing by, and oh, by the way, they will have English voices. It won't be a foreign operator. You're going to get an American that you talk with.
Well, I know this, Lindsey. We're going to be able to sit here and watch this unfold and see what happens, and always interesting information. Let's go ahead and talk to Mike in California. Mike, you're on the air.
Thank you, sir. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, you disconnected. My only thought I could think of offhand, being a personal engineer, so to speak, is fill all the fissures up with cement and then drop a 1,000,000-pound weight over the son of a gun, see if that'll cork it up. Because it'd be corked up, and then it would just whiz out of the other cracks a lot harder. But that's a heck of a lot of pressure, sir. Otherwise, the only thing I could recommend is ignite it under the water and let it burn before it gets to the top.
Well, that's what a lot of experts said, was it should have been ignited the old-fashioned way, right after it started leaking. That way it would all be contained and just turn into carbon, carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere, and a few other byproducts. Certainly not perfect, but better than what we're seeing now. But, yeah, what about the idea of, say, having a 1,000,000-pound weight that they then position over it and then drop on top of it. I'm no engineer, but, I mean, that might have an effect. But then, if it doesn't work, you've got oil coming out from beneath the weight, and it's even harder to get under there and take care of it.
All those oxygen and the hydrogen will burn underwater as well. If it's got enough oxygen to it, you could just burn it before it gets through the water and use the water as a filter. It would probably need to be filtered as well after it burnt, but at least it wouldn't be escaping into the atmosphere and just have the potential to get all the way around the globe.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's just getting crazier and crazier because government doesn't know how to get rid of it, and now they're talking about a nuke, and I just can't imagine if they detonate a nuke down there and it just causes more fissures, and then instead of having one leak, it creates a bunch of other cracks, underground channels. You could have a mess many times worse, and instead of 500,000 or million or whatever it really is, 4 or 5 million, like some of Lindsay's sources are saying, then it could be 10 million, 20 million. I mean, it's crazy to talk about using nuclear weapons down there. And I sure hope they haven't hit some new strata of oil, some new mega strata, and that this sucker could go on for years. I mean, and can you imagine how government's going to say, listen, we got the solution. You pay Al Gore and the Rothschilds a big tax, and they'll wave an environmental wand, and see, we've got to get rid of the petroleum economy, and we've got to take control of society and make you all energy poor because of the oil spill, because of the oil spill, because of the oil spill. And how this is happening right on time for Obama. Yes, it's politically destroying him. It's going to politically hurt BP. But one thing I've found with the globalists is they will fall on the sword individually to give more power to the organization. In fact, here's a headline. As spill cost mounts, BP shares tumble anew. U.S. lawmakers want more compensation. Obama, Cameron to discuss issue. Appreciate the call, Mike. Good points. Lindsey Williams, what's your take on the idea he had for dropping a big weight on it?
A number of years ago, I was on the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline, and they put in that 800-mile pipe over an inch thick. 2 weeks ago, BP closed the Trans-Alaska Oil Pipeline. There's no oil flowing through it today. The reason being is that the abrasive substances in oil and the pig that they must run down that pipe from time to time to get out all the paraffin has so weakened the pipe, has broken it down to the point that it is so thin that it is almost like paper thickness in places, and the abrasiveness has destroyed the pipe, and they're going to have to replace the entire thing if they get any more oil out of Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. Now, the identical same thing is happening in the Gulf, except it's happening under pressures of 20 to 70,000 pounds, and the abrasiveness of that oil and what's coming up with it is eroding the thickness of that pipe so rapidly that if they wait a few more months to try to go down and do anything about it, they'll have no pipe left. I mean, this was a subject we didn't even cover before because there's still so much material here. But that very easily could happen, and that pipe is eroding by the minute.
Well, look what rivers do to create the Grand Canyon. Water cuts through solid rock over time. Imagine what oil, with all those chemicals just blasting out, is going to do to that pipe. And then it's going to really... But again, it looks like the pipe's already... the casing's already not intact because you've got all these other leaks coming up around there. This doesn't look good. The
casing appears to have ruptured at the time of the original blow because the pressure was so high. That's what it appears. You notice I use the word appears because we're getting these fissures as much as NOAA said up to 20 miles long. The furthest I've heard personally is 5 miles away. But these are being caused by other ruptures that are down in there somewhere.
Josh in Alabama, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, thanks for taking my call. Just want to let you know, I was down in Gulf Shores, Alabama, yesterday, and there's a very large amount of tar balls all over the beach down there. Just wanted to confirm that for you. And also, there was a private company called Clean Harbor that was there. You know, they were there. There's probably 10 guys on ATVs. And we spent probably 3 hours there, and I'm heading back out of town, north on 59. So 2 Humvees, probably 4 or 5 troops per Humvee. So you're asking
Now, we know military's down there. We're just curious if they're telling people to evacuate like some reports have said.
Nothing. No, it was just totally benign. They were heading north out of town, but that's all we saw.
Now, do these tar balls look fresh? Do they have any crustaceans growing on them?
No, they're really liquidy. We were had them smashed all on the bottom of our feet, and it was under.
So they're new, yeah, because an old tar ball will have crustaceans and things growing on it. And I mean, I know that going to the beach over the years. So sounds like Lindsay said, it's coming out and getting semi-frozen and then congealing 5,000 feet down. I mean, it's just freezing cold. Anything else, Josh?
That's it.
Thank you, Josh, so much for that call.